Welcome to Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-date news on the political scene of Donald Trump, his presidency, American politics and conspiracies. Please subscribe to receive notice of our daily updates. Also share with your friends and your social media. We encourage you to like our videos and give your comments.
This is TBNN.
Leaked draft of Trump admin infrastructure plan contains a lot of surprises. A leaked report on the long-awaited infrastructure project may show the White House's priorities and how the project will approach funding. The report, attributed to the White House and released by Politico on Monday, lays out the funding principles and the principles for infrastructure improvements and President Donald Trump's plan to revitalize U.S. infrastructure. A central promise of Trump's presidential campaign, the infrastructure package, which Trump has said would be as much as $1 trillion in total value, took a backseat in 2017 to an Obamacare repeal, then to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which was signed into law in December. Infrastructure is a priority for Trump in 2018, though the immediate fight will be centered on federal spending and immigration. The leaked plan suggests putting 50% of any funds into incentives for public-private partnerships on infrastructure projects. An additional 25% would be allocated for encouraging investment partnerships in rural areas, including improving transportation and freight movement, broadband, water and electricity systems in remote areas. 10% of the appropriated funds would go to incentivizing transformative projects based on exploratory and groundbreaking ideas that have a higher risk than most infrastructure projects, but could potentially reap a higher reward. The plan would put 7% of appropriated funds toward federal credit programs, and 5% to Federal Capital Financing Fund, to improve access to federal loans for infrastructure. The principles for improvements offer some insight into the administration's thinking around infrastructure. For example, one suggestion is to allow states flexibility to toll on interstates and reinvest toll revenues in infrastructure. The White House did not comment on the specifics of the proposal or verify its authenticity. We are not going to comment on the contents of a leaked document but look forward to presenting our plan in the near future, White House spokeswoman Lindsay Walters told Politico. One obstacle for the infrastructure improvement, which both parties agree is an important issue, is the timeline for approving projects. The federal and state approval process often takes years. Even if the United States invested $1 trillion in infrastructure today, it is highly unlikely we would see a comparable economic benefit in the near term, as most of the largest end projects require 5 years or more to review, Philip Rossetti, a policy expert at American Action Forum, wrote in an October report. The leaked proposal doesn't suggest substantial changes to the approval process, but does suggest dispensing federal approval for projects with minimal federal involvement.
This has been the Trump Breaking News Network. Please subscribe and share to stay up to date on the latest news about our president. Be informed.